I want some of your brown sugar. I want some of your brown sugar. I want some of your brown sugar. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. This is Brownsugar Conversate. I'm your girl, Kayla. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more videos about Black entertainment, Black womanhood, and whatever else I feel to talk about this week. Alright, let's get right into it. So, it's been roughly 3 weeks since Chloe's In Pieces, aka her solo debut, has been out in the streets. And of course, the people have been talking, and a lot of it has been negative-ish, mixed-ish reviews, both from critics and regular everyday folk alike. And I felt that because I've talked about Chloe a decent amount on here as a Chloe fan, I felt I needed to give my 2 cents, but I had to wait to see, wait a little bit after the hype has died down a little bit, give people time to really sit with the album and all that good stuff, for me to really give what I think about the album. Okay, and so what I want to do is talk about Chloe's solo journey so far, talk about the album, what I like, what I didn't like, talk about the critics, and wrap it up, okay? I'm going to try to keep it cute and short. Will we? Find out. But yeah, so as I said, we all know Chloe, a part of the super group that is Chloe X Halle, honey, okay? Do it for the girls all around the world, okay? I had to wear my Chloe X Halle Day collaboration they did with Pink a couple of years ago. I felt like it was right for the occasion, you know what I'm saying? But yes, Chloe X Halle was this amazing kind of alternative R&B group. On The Kids Are Alright, they kind of had more of like an indie sound to them. And Ungodly Hour gave more closer to like a urban pop kind of vibe. They were starting to get into their grown and sexy bag. Okay, you had Do It, Forgive Me, okay, Ungodly Hour, Tipsy, nothing but bangers, right? And I think that Ungodly Hour really thrusted Chloe and Halle into the mainstream. Yes, people knew about them because of Grownish, because of maybe you being, the girls that was on YouTube that seen their covers, knowing their story, how Beyonce discovered them, all of that jazz. But I think Ungodly Hour was when they finally got their footing as a group. But Ungodly Hour, because they were thrusted into the spotlight so much, people did start to have chitter chatter about the two of them going solo, specifically Chloe, because Chloe just seemed to have this dominating presence on stage. She's gyrating, she's moving that body, she's doing a lot, and people were like, oh yes, like I could definitely see her going solo. Which is why I find it interesting on some people's takes about her now, but we'll get there when we get there. Like I said, they did Ungodly Hour. It was pretty successful. They were the queens of quarantine. They had the best, performances, live performances. And really, it just felt like their star couldn't be any brighter at this point. But at some point, I want to say in 2021, early 2021, we find out that Chloe is pursuing a solo career, and so she's teasing music online, she's doing covers on TikTok, and people are really starting to get a feel for her and the potential of what she could be as a solo artist. Now, people have this very mixed opinion, mixed feelings about Chloe as a person for some reason. And like I said, the first time I seen this happening was around quarantine, early 2021, when she was doing like, did she do the busted challenge? I don't remember she did the busted challenge, but I know she did like a silhouette-esque type of challenge. Y'all remember the silhouette challenge. Y'all was bored, honey. But that got met with a lot of criticism, and people were trying to say, she's doing too much. She's too sexy. She's forcing the sex appeal. All of these things were things I saw throughout 2021. And by the time Have Mercy dropped, people had a lot to say about the song. And a lot of people didn't like the song and thought it was generic and thought she was trying to be like Beyonce and had many things to say about the song. They just didn't like it. I said it, and you can check the Carfax on me, okay? I had no issues with the song. I thought the song was fun. I liked the video. I liked the song. Still feel the same way. Don't have any complaints about the song. I thought it was completely fine. But that was the beginning of what we knew to be Solo Chloe. That song was then followed up by 3 other singles throughout 2022, which was Treat Me, Surprise, and For the Night with Miss Lotto. Out of the 3 songs, I like Treat Me. Really, I like Treat Me out of all 4 of those songs released during this time period. I think it is Chloe at her best. I think it does what it needs to do. It has this, bravado to it. It demonstrates the vocals. It has that good mix that it seems that Chloe likes to do with the singing and kind of like talk rap kind of style that she does a lot. And I thought it was fine. I enjoy it. Like I said, I think that is Chloe's best song to date, in my opinion. And so all the songs were equally met with this mixed review, and but none of the songs had a big buzz around it, other than Have Mercy for simply just being this, her debut as a solo artist song. The hype kind of died around it rather quickly, if it did have hype. But none of the songs had like a viral TikTok moment. There wasn't a song that everyone unanimously came together and said, yes, we love this song. I just don't remember it. But at the top of this year, she announces that she's going to have an album and it's going to come out the end of March. And none of the songs that we recently heard, none of the songs that she's released so far will be on that album, which I thought was crazy because now we're starting back at square one. Because, like, where can we go from here? The opportunities was just endless. And so the first song we get was Pray It Away. And I like Pray It Away. I like the visual. I think that it was a good choice for a lead single. No notes. No notes on that one. The next one was the Chris Brown record. I don't even know the name of it, and I don't care to know it at this point. Don't care. You already know my thoughts about it. If you don't, go check the video. I have it in the cards, or I will link it below. But wasn't a fan of that song, and based on what I see, I don't think anybody was. And it just wasn't it. The next one was, I think, the release to Cheat Back and Body Do. I feel like were both released the week of the album, if I'm not mistaken. Body Do is something for the summertime, something for the girls to bop to. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. It's really growing on me. But yes, it's like a little fun tune. And then Cheat Back. I like Cheat Back. I don't know if it's because I'm a sucker for like an acoustic song or something, but despite Future being in it, I enjoy it. I don't have an issue with Cheat Back. I like it. I don't know what this is about me and my taste, but that's just what I think. So yeah. So as I said, this album has had a lot of controversy surrounding it, a lot of conversations happening, and we were told that the album so far in its 3 weeks is not doing that well selling wise. And I want to talk about that at the end of the video, why I think so. But I think it'll just tie into my overall review. But let's just get into the infamous Pitchfork interview, shall we? And really what I want to highlight is this particular paragraph because it kind of encapsulates a lot of the thoughts that me as well as other people have about the album, which is, But in Pieces is not a concept album. If it is, someone please tell everyone involved in its production. The emotionally charged conversational interludes and narrative intros, do you ever wonder like who else is effing your man, are out of place amid the redundant themes in mind-numbingly online songwriting. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure with only 2 endings. There's a good-for-nothing man in her life who keeps betraying her, so will she A, give it to God, bake some ass, and show him what he's missing, The unfaithful men and the nameless F niggas she croons about are so abstract, it's impossible to connect with her devastation. Does he buy you nice stuff? Is the dick good? Do you not want another woman to profit from your emotional labor? Moments that could have built up to rewarding catharsis are dead on arrival. We have the Rolling Stone interview, or the Rolling Stone review. So here we go. Ultimately, what makes In Pieces such a fascinating, albeit uneven listen, is it an aging former pinup who deludes diehard supporters into believing he's Michael Jackson reincarnated? T. Okay, it's the dilemma of which path Chloe should have taken after the success of her work with her sister Halle. Nurtured by Beyonce Knowles Parkwood Entertainment, Chloe X Halle personified a Disney ideal of pop-inflected R&B, pure and unruffled by roiling meat market dynamics. Their 3 albums, especially 2020's Lovely Ungodly Hour, soared on idyllically sensual music anchored by feathery vocal harmonies. But Chloe is in her mid-20s now. With In Pieces, she's chosen a sound that's more reflective of her contemporaries, cautiously self-aware and skeptical towards sexual relations, yet buoyed by her songwriting talents and vocal performances. So those are what I really wanted to point out, because I think that, like I said, it really reflects not only what the general consensus of the album the consensus of the album seemed to be, but it also reflects what I believe. Like I said, I've been a champion for Chloe from day one, where a lot of people seem to be hella harsh about Chloe's, the Lucy's that came out in the past 2 years. I was always in the realm of let Chloe have time to experiment and explore what her sound could be, because a lot of people, I think, because Chloe has this big, powerful, amazing voice, people want to put her in a certain place, and maybe that's not the lane she wants to be in. I'm all for artists choosing the music that they want to do because it's going to reflect in the music that they make. And while I see glimpses and pieces of that here, of what Chloe's sound as a solo artist can be, I don't feel like I left this album knowing more about Chloe than what I walked into. I don't even think I have the slightest idea of who Chloe is as a solo artist. And while I see glimpses of genius here, like Someone's Calling, wonderful way to open this album. This jazzy, almost vintage kind of sound going here. It's theatrical. It makes you think you better be in for something crazy. You about to be in for a ride. And, she's like vocalizing with the trumpet playing. Like, it's dope. It's like, yo, where are we about to go? This is extravagant. It's everything that you would expect, I think, from a Chloe album at this point, from what we can see. And it goes into Pray It Away, which is a great choice because, like I said, Pray It Away, great song, got a choir. This girl's talking about, I need to be freed from this F-boy. Like, I need to take it to church. I need to give it to Jesus because I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Okay? And it goes into Body Do, where she's saying, like, I can't trust you as far as I can throw you, but I can trust what that body do. Like, it's like I said, like, it's okay. We have a vibe going. We have something going on. But then when we get towards the middle, it gets murky. It gets like, okay, we get it. You're dealing with this guy. He's not good for you. So what are we going to do? What's the resolution, right? And we have the later half of the album where it seems that Chloe's kind of getting her power back, right? Where she's talking about Told You with Missy Elliott, and it's talking about I Thought I Told You I'm a Soldier. That's repeated throughout the song, and she's kind of like talking her stuff on here, right? It's very like bravado, like I said, confidant. And Missy Elliott is Missy Elliott, she's gonna deliver. But even in this song, I don't love it. I think the later half of it is really what is great, and I wish that we would have had that throughout instead of what we got. And this wasn't a great use of a Missy feature. I think that Flo's new song is a much better use of Missy Elliott, because they literally took one line from a popular song of hers and made a whole song, and she just comes in with her Missy charm and it just works so beautifully. But because this song is so lackluster, not even Miss Misdemeanor could save it, and I really hate that for us. But you know, like I said, keep it going. We have Cheap Back. Like I said, I don't have an issue with Cheap Back. I think Cheap Back is fine. I like it. And while I don't understand Future as the choice, I think a lot of people have, you know, chalked it up to because he's the ultimate F dude. You know, the ultimate F nigga, okay? It just seems like, you know, this is, you know, kind of interesting to, you know, she's talking about if I cheat back and pulling a you on you kind of thing. So it just seems like, you know, maybe the Future is the dude in the question, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And Heart on My Sleeve, I think Heart on My Sleeve is a wonderful little interlude that leads into In Pieces, which is amazing. I also really like Make It Look Easy as well. I think Make It Look Easy and Feel Me Cry are two other strong points of the album, in my opinion. Yeah, so if I had to say my faves, it's Someone's Calling, Pray It Away, Feel Me Cry, Make It Look Easy, Cheap Back, In Pieces. Because, like, Heart in My Sleeve is good, but I think it's like an interlude. Same thing with Falling For You. They just seem more like interviews. They're less than 1 minute long. So you know what I'm saying? But overall, like I said, I have to agree when it comes to the critics is that this album just feels like there's no direction here. What I think I would have loved to hear when it came to this album is this journey that Chloe is on, right? Or even this idea of In Pieces, because what exactly is this about In Pieces? I don't get it when it comes to the title of the album. Maybe Heart on My Sleeve would have been a better title in my opinion, but I think that's Ella Bay's latest album's title, so I don't think she could have done that. But I think that that's a better album. But even like I said, you have at the beginning of Make It Look Easy, she says something like, no matter how many times I put myself back together. And I think that's so powerful. But it's such a great concept we could have built around it. Even like the interludes of these albums. The interludes of this album, I think, I don't remember if it was Pitchfork that said this, but the interludes feel random and out of place because there's only like interludes or like Chloe saying little things here and there on a couple of the songs. Like, you ever wonder if someone else is effing your man? Like, what, girl? But I think it could have really worked if it was used throughout and it was really telling this story, but it's not. As I said, what I would have loved was to get this story of Chloe dealing with this man. Maybe start from the beginning. Tell us what you like about it. Tell him what makes the relationship great. Is it because he got money? Is it because the sex is good? What is it about him that you love? Like, you know what I'm saying? Give us a reason why we love why you love this guy, why you enjoy being with him. And like, give us some love song. Give us a sensual bop, right? Give us something. And then go into the turmoil of it all. Okay, is he cheating on you? Is he cheating on you with multiple women? What's the situation? What's making the relationship toxic? What are you going through as you're going through this toxic relationship? Give us some songs about that. And then we get towards the endish album. Let's okay, are we getting back with him and saying, you know, F it, whatever? Or are we getting our power back? Like, nah, I don't need you. You're trash. I deserve better. Like, as she's saying, no matter how many times I become broken, I'm the one that puts myself back together in the end. So I need to be thinking about me and preserving my heart and everything like that. I think that it would have been amazing to end within pieces like that because of the theming of that song, right? You know? I don't want no one else to hold me when I'm in pieces. And it would have been, and I think that that would have been a more concise, more, you know, a more easier way to see the vision and see the direction this album was trying to go in. And while I think I kind of see narratively where we were going, it gets lost in translation. And furthermore, the songs itself are just not, most of them are not remarkable. they're not something that I would want to go back to. And I really hate that for me because I know Chloe has it in her because she's done it before, especially with her sister. And so I really believe that she has it in her. And so that's just really that on that. I just think that overall, I think this album project is not the worst. It's not the worst project I ever heard. There are some strokes of genius. There are some places where we're like, yes, that's our girl Chloe really snatching us by our wigs with these vocals. But as a project, compared to some other debuts, it's just like, girl, what are we doing, honey? Because like I said, interludes are so great because it gives you a little bit more to the album. Like when you think Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, when you think of those, you think them interludes with them kids, them little school kids, and they're talking about their idea of love. And what I think is genius about it is because it seems like they're in this class learning these important lessons about love, and Lauren isn't there because if you remember in the very first interlude, the guy is doing attendance and he's calling Lauryn Hill's name and she is not there. Hence why she seems to have to learn all these lessons about love on her own. Hence the name, down to the album artwork, right? It took me years to realize that that album artwork is like a school desk and it's like carved in the album art. And I think that's genius. And even with this album artwork, it's stunning for sure. And I love like it's almost like Disney-esque about it, something about it. But the heart in the hand, what does that have to do with In Pieces? You know what I'm saying? It would have been more interesting if maybe the heart was broken and she was holding it still, like the pieces of it or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Like I love the glass kind of like porcelain feel to it, but it's still I don't understand how that ties into the title, right? And the theme of the album, I just don't get it. Because I really like, I love a good album cover, you know what I'm saying? I do. But you know what I'm saying? So same thing, like I said, going back, interludes. We needed more of those. Like I said, maybe her having conversations with friends or a voicemail. You know, we love a good voicemail interlude. Or like I said, her talking her stuff about some lessons or maybe some stories. Like I said, get some friends involved, get some whatever. Like I think part of the reasons why Hotels is immaculate is because you have these various women's perspectives on these situations they've had with guys. So maybe tie into something like that. Get a bunch of girls talking about their instances with some F-boys or something. You know what I'm saying? Or have these interludes have more to say about you. Even going into something more contemporary, as again with Ari Lennox's Shea Butter Baby. I think what I love so much about that album as a debut was because even for people who've never heard Ari Lennox before, never seen her, internet persona and her lives, you got an idea what kind of person she was just based on hearing those little like pitched up some of them are snippets from live, some of them are actual things of her talking, whatever. From the very first interlude, she at the end of Chicago Boy, she's saying, I need to know that y'all are my friends because it's about to get nasty, it's about to get disgusting, okay? And I love that because it makes you sit there like, well, what we finna get into? And I think the next song is BMO, so like that completely makes sense. But you see what I'm saying? And like I said, you have these instances where you feel like you and her are just besties having this conversation, and these songs are just glimpses of her life and these things that have happened to her. And so it would have been dope to see Chloe play into something like that as well. Let us get to know you. Who are you? Where are you right now? Like, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So interludes would have been her best friend there. And these interludes just feel weird and out of place, but I feel like there could have been a way for us to bring it home, bring it together, and really use it to tell a story. So that's really what it is. I just think that the album just needed more cohesion. It needed more of Chloe in it. I need to see more of her in it so I can have a better understanding of who she is as a solo artist and where she is right now at 24 on her own, without her sister, without what is it? You know, with dealing what she's dealing with, the criticism, the Beyonce comparisons, put it all in the music and really shut the girls up, because that's what I wanted more than anything else, because I want Chloe to win it. And I think she is winning in her own ways. She seems to be having a good time on tour, seems to be a good turnout. I think that she'll do well on this tour because she is a performer at the end of the day, and she has the hunger for it. So while this album wasn't a 10 out of 10 recommend for me, I do think that better is coming, and I hope that she takes the criticisms from the critics, from the people close to her, and really, if she does put out another project, hold in, go back to the drawing board and really figure out who is Chloe the solo artist, because I don't know who she is based on this project. Also, I think it would have been better for her to release an EP firsthand. I think you could never go wrong with releasing a cute little 4 to 7 track EP. Give the people a little appetizer, really get the people going. But as far as why I think the album did not sell well, I mean, other than obviously the mixed reviews and people just not liking Chloe at all, I do think because the album did not have that song with the tick, none of the songs, because here's the thing, because we live in an age where like social media determines the hits, right? In a sense, like, yes, people put out lead singles, but more often than not, the people are going to pick the song. And because Chloe's music thus far had never had that viral moment, and none of these songs, based on what I'm hearing, has that hit potential, I think that is why it didn't do as well as it could have. I think that even if commercially or initially the album didn't do that well, if there were the songs in there that hit like grits, the people that needed to hear it would have heard it and put it out there in the stratosphere, and it would have blew the hell up. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really what this needed to really get the people. But, you know, as I said, I think that while this wasn't the best ever, I think that Chloe's best work is still within her, and she still has the potential to make amazing music, whether that be with her sister with another project or another project. But I think going forward, the EP route is the best route. But y'all let me know all of your thoughts about In Pieces. What do you think about the criticism? Did you enjoy the album? What are your favorite tracks? What do you think about everything? Let me know down in the comments, honey, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see y'all in my next video. Peace out, y'all.